So guys, remember to share the videos and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. I would love to have you in the family. So, what I have discovered when sewing most vintage patterns, there's almost always a section of the garment that you have to construct it with hand sewing. That's fine. But it's also, there is a portion of the construction of the garment that may sound confusing. You have to read and reread it. That what makes the vintage patterns sort of hard, because we're in modern day patterns and we're sewing most of those all the time. So there's a portion almost always in the vintage pattern that you have to pay close attention to and reread. For example, in this garment, the shirt, the blouse, it's the collar area. So what they're asking you to do first is to baste your collar on your blouse, right sides together, and you're basting from one small dot to the next small dot through all of the collar layers. Then this portion, which is the back of the shirt, you only basting the facing and the interfacing to the shirt. And so you're doing the same thing for your other side of the blouse. You're taking the collar and attaching it to the edge of your blouse, to the small dot, which is located right here over the shoulder seam. But this, the back section or the middle portion of the collar, the only thing you're sewing together or basting together is just the interfacing and the facing of the collar. This portion of the collar is not attached. Then you're going to bring the front facing across your collar and attach it. To the back portion of side portion of the collar. And when that is done, and you do the opposite side the same way, you take your facing, front facing, the 5/8 seam allowance, you make that 1/4. Turn the collar in like this. Turn the facing in, and you're going to attach it to your shoulder seam. This is the shoulder seam here, and you're attaching your facing to that seam and you're hand stitching it. Vintage patterns also has, like I said, a lot of hand stitching and a lot of basting. So then after that is done, you're gonna sew the collar just like you basted in. Both edges, the middle or back portion. And what this is gonna be, how this is gonna be sewn is you, after you sew from the small dots where you left this untouched, you sew this across your 5/8 seam allowance, and you trim the seams closely to the seam, to the stitches. Then you take this portion with your 5/8 seam allowance and cover it up and hand stitch. I thought it was neat, but I just couldn't figure out how that was going to come together. But it's workable. As you can see, I based, and the directions ask you to base. You need to base critical areas like this, because if you can't see what's going on, then if you base it, you can easily take it apart. So let's move on. So this is the conclusion of the nice little blouse that I say remind me of my mom. I had to make this blouse. We'll switch the camera around at this point. These are the buttons that I attached to the blouse. I sewed them on loosely. Got to go back and touch them up. That's how it's looking up in the neck area, your notches, and I added the little 15-minute or less knit pants that I sewed up in another video. There's the collar, your sleeves, looking like that. I think the little combo came out pretty nicely. So guys, remember to share the videos and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. I would love to have you in the family. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you check out the critical section or portion for this blouse. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.